It's said that 7% of the information we get during a conversation is derived from words, 38% from the tone of the voice, and the remaining 55% from a body language, most importantly from gestures. My name is Natalia, and today I will prove that every country has its own customs, especially when it comes to gestures. Let's start with a good, old and popular thumb up. In many Western countries, it means good and okay. However, in Latin America, Iraq and Afghanistan, the thumb is considered obscene and lewd. And what about the circle made of an index finger and a thumb? In the United States, United Kingdom, Australia and many other countries, it simply means something good, high quality. In France, for example, this well-known gesture is translated into zero. So be careful when, with the help of it, you will want to show how much you enjoyed the meal. However, the circle made of an index finger and a thumb in France doesn't even come close to how offensive this gesture is in Germany, Turkey or Venezuela. Richard Nixon, when visiting Brazil in the 50s, was getting off the plane. He simply wanted to show how successful the flight had gone. Unfortunately, he did not realize that in this way he insulted all of his audience, because in these countries the circle symbolizes the place where the sun doesn't shine and implies that the person we show it to is homosexual. If you have ever visited any Slavic country, you have certainly encouraged a hand-to-neck gesture. It is hardly surprising, as we interpret it as an invitation to drink alcohol. However, if one day, when working in Japan or South Korea, the boss will show you this gesture, do not run to him happily to get to know the details of the meeting. In these countries, it simply means losing your job. Another controversial gesture is moza, which is one or two hands with widely spread fingers facing the interlocutor. For people from Northern or Central Europe, it means calm down, let's get along, I don't want aggression. However, for Europeans from the South, more specifically from Greece, this is the most traditional and popular insult with the meaning eat my feces. In some countries, for example in Lebanon, moza is useful at trade fairs because it simply means no and is the best way to whisk officious sellers away. When traveling without knowing a given language, it will definitely be useful for you to summon someone. In Western countries, it's done with an index finger, despite the fact that the American film industry has promoted it as a slightly sexual gesture. In East Asia, dogs are summoned with the help of this gesture. It is so insulting that if a Filipino sees that you are requesting someone's presence this way, not only will you have to say goodbye to your freedom, as you will be sent to jail, but also to the intact bone in your finger. In Latin America and Australia, such gesture is used for summoning a prostitute. So don't be shocked if the waitress in the restaurant looks at you outraged when you try to get her attention. Speaking of gestures, it's impossible to forget the Victoria sign. For the whole Western culture circle, Victoria means the same thing, a victory. However, if you visit the United Kingdom, make sure that your hand is turned in the right direction. When showing a Victoria sign with the back of your hand, your interlocutor will feel insulted. Despite that this is a known fact these days, Winston Churchill himself was not aware of how seriously British people approached this gesture. Rumor has it that the former Prime Minister was summoned to order by the words of his advisors the other way, thanks to which he avoided further insulting the welcoming crowds. In Japan, for example, Victoria is shown to emphasize the well-being and satisfaction of the situation in which the person is located. It often substitutes a smile, so don't worry if your Japanese friend has a gloomy face in every picture. There are still many elements of a non-verbal communication. Whether we talk about other gestures such as horns or maintaining eye contact, go to Studies Info, link in the description, where you can read a little bit more about it. If you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and see you next time.